Hi everyone, my name is Christian J. Dalabatan Morelio, and today I'll be talking about the tributo, one of the earliest form of taxation in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period. This topic is part of my project titled Taxation Then and Now. We will trace how taxation has changed through time and what we can learn from it today. The tributo is very important in Philippine history because it shows how taxes were first used by the Spanish to fund their colonial government, but also how it affected ordinary Filipinos during that time.
The tributo was introduced by the Spanish colonizer around the 16th century after they established combined in the Philippines. It was a form of tax collected from every Filipino male, usually those between 16 to 60 years old, to support the expenses of the colonial government and the church. Each person had to pay about 8 reales, which is roughly equivalent to 1 peso. At that time, payment could be made in money or in kind, such as rice, chicken, or other goods, especially in areas where people did not use coins. The tax was collected by local chiefs called cabezas de barangay, and they passed it on the Spanish encomenderos or colonial officials. The collected tributo was used to fund government projects, salaries of Spanish officials, and the spread of Christianity through the church. However, over time, additional taxes were added such as the bandala system and cedula personal tax, which made the burden heavier for ordinary Filipinos. The cabezas de barangay or local chief were responsible for collecting the tributo and turning it over to Spanish officials known as encomenderos. The revenue gathered from this tax was used to maintain the colonial government, pay salaries of Spanish officials, and fund the church mission to spread Christianity across the island. Systems like the bandala, which forced natives to sell their goods to the government at low prices, and the cedula personal tax added to their suffering. These unfair and excessive taxes highlighted the exploitative nature of Spanish colonial rule and caused resentment among the Filipino people. Eventually, the tributo and related systems foiled the dissatisfactions that contributed to the rise of nationalist movements seeking freedom and justice from Spanish oppression. The impact of the tributo on Filipinos was both economic and social. On the negative side, it became a symbol of oppression and inequality. Many Filipinos struggled to pay the tax because of their earnings were small, and they were often forced to sell their harvest at low prices just to afford it. Those who failed to pay were sometimes punished and humiliated. The system also favored the Spanish officials, who often abused their power and collected more than that was required. This created resentment and contributed to the growing desire for independence among Filipinos. But on the other hand, taxations also introduced the idea of financial contribution to governance, which later influenced how modern governments collect taxes to provide public services. So while the tributo was unfair, it also served as the foundation of our modern tax system, teaching future generations about the role of citizen in supporting the government. Reflection. When we compare taxation then and now, we can see a huge difference. Today, we pay taxes through the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR. Systems like income tax, value-added tax, and laws such as the train law make taxation more organized and transparent. The money collected is supposed to fund education, healthcare, infrastructure, and other public services that benefit citizens. Unlike during the Spanish period, taxes today are not meant to enrich foreign rulers but to build the nation. However, one lesson we can still learn from the past is that taxation must always be fair and transparent. Just like before, if taxes are misused or abused, it creates inequality and anger more citizens. And that day, taxation is not just about paying money, it's about our shared responsibility to build and sustain our country. Thank you for watching my video presentation on taxations then and now. I hope you learned about something, how the tribute shape the Philippines and continues to influence how we see today's generation.